All right. Well, welcome back, everybody, for two, I should say, Johnny on the track. Look at that. I'm a little rusty because I really haven't done a podcast in quite a while, but I am excited to do a podcast with a friend of the show, a guy who's been on the show once before. He is a three-time Open Modified winner at Stafford Speedway in 2022. He's your 2015 Spring Sizzler winner, and he is second all-time at Stafford Speedway on the all-time features wins list with 81 wins. He's the driver of the number 88 modified car for Doug Dunleavy. He is Woody Pitkat. Woody, man, it's been a while, but thanks for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So what does the off season look like for you? I know you just kind of started things last weekend at Thompson, but off season, what does that look like? Are you around the shop much? Do you I know you have kids, so like, do you kind of just take that time to be with the kids? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, normally it's just, try to catch up with family time a little bit more and do stuff with them. I play hockey as well, so I pick up a little bit more hockey during the winter. Plow some snow with my father-in-law if he needs me, which the winter this year was didn't really seem like there was one,
Yeah.
so we didn't have much work to do, which was nice. But yeah, we went on vacation, we went on a Disney cruise with the kids, actually with my car owner, which was really cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, and my brother-in-law. So we had a blast doing that. And yeah, just kind of just lay low. I'm fortunate enough now where I don't really have to do much at the shop. Unfortunately, the race shop is at least an hour and 10 minutes away from here to the 88 shop at least. So the only time I really get down there is if I need to try to do errands for them or bring parts or whatnot. But I don't rarely get down there to work on it too much. Cam and his father and some of the crew guys take care of that, which, like I said, I'm very fortunate enough to have that opportunity to have that. I guess in my back pocket, so it's nice and gives me more time to spend with my family.
Well, that's good. That's good. But what about like, do you think about it at all? Like, are you like, damn, I can't wait to get back on the track, or is it just like, hey, when it comes around, I'll be ready to roll?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, right when it's over, you're kind of happy. Usually it's a long season, so
Yeah.
depending on how you run, we finished second the last race at Thompson, so we were all happy. And then we ran the Seacock race, and we finished in the top five. And then it was just nice to kind of just relax, recharge the batteries and stuff. And then you go through the holidays. Next, it's Thanksgiving and Christmas, and you're doing all that stuff and putting the tree and the lights up and doing all that stuff. And you get into the new year and stuff like that. And then next thing you know, you see these people getting ready to go to New Smyrna in February. So you watch that, and it kind of gets your blood flowing a little bit more. And
Yeah.
like, oh man, you want to get going. And Doug was like, oh, we should be going. And it's like, actually this past year, we had just basically gotten back from our cruise. And then it was like 3 weeks later, they were going to Florida. So it's like, bud, we just got back, just got back from a nice relaxing cruise. Now you're ready to go racing. So I don't know. The older you get, I guess it seems like you don't get as psyched up as you once did in the past. Obviously here getting ready to go, getting ready to go to the icebreaker, and we were all pumped up, and then it rained, so they had to cancel it for till the following weekend. So that was definitely kind of stunk, and because your mindset was like, all right, we waited, we got the car ready to go, and saw how good the car looked, and we were all pumped up and ready to get going, and then obviously get away an extra weekend. So now that it's starting, we're getting closer here, and we're getting warmer weather and stuff. It's definitely time to get going, and you get psyched up, and you want to get down to the racetrack and see kind of your racing family, that you haven't seen all winter, and catch up with them and get back to the weekly grind.
Well, the fans are itching for it too, including myself. Can't wait. I always look forward to April because, like, for me, luckily, this year I went to my first Daytona 500, which was friggin' amazing and awesome. But at the same time, like before that, last like few years, it was you just wait for April because that was Sizzler weekend.
Mhm.
To be back out on the track. But speaking of weather, I mean, the weather's been pretty crap the last couple Sizzlers, so hopefully we can we can finally have some good weather. But when I did the intro, I said something, Woody. I said second all time on Stafford Speedway's all time features winners list with 81 wins. When someone says that second all time at your home track, like what does that mean to you? What emotions like does that bring to you?
Yeah, it means a lot. It's still, I feel like it doesn't hit you until you look at it or somebody brings it up. It's really a really amazing accomplishment. Even last year winning a late model race at Thompson, somebody had told me that total brought my win total at Thompson to 50.
Wow.
If somebody ever told me that I was going to win, 130 plus races, especially just in two tracks alone, not to mention other places that I've won at,
Hmm.
I would have told you were crazy just to think that, because starting as a kid, just following my uncle racing and following his footsteps, and my friend Ryan Pisacco when I was a teenager, and then starting in the dare stock division and moving up to late models, and really not really knowing what I was going to do. Probably just keep racing a late model, and then having an opportunity, getting a phone call to run an SK modified, and just moving up the ladder year after year. It's just it's surreal, really, just to know and see that. Teddy is way out there. Obviously, he's at, I don't know, 130 or something. He's
Yeah.
like 40 or 50 out there, and I got obviously guys chopping at the bit right behind me with Kid Rock, Keith Rocco, and Tommy Fern. But it's fine. Whatever happens, happens. I just love the fact that I still have the opportunity to do what I love to do. The situation I have right now with Doug Dunleavy and Cam McDermott and that whole '88 bunch, it's just it's really a dream come true. It's an unbelievable team, and I just this past year it was nice to go to the racetrack, and really it was just made my life easy. Just go to the track, concentrate on the car and what it's doing, and tell Cam what it's doing, and the thing was pretty much almost every race thing was like a Cadillac. So
Yeah.
hopefully, hopefully we'll be able to hit on it again this year, and have as much success as we did. I know it's going to be hard, obviously. Winning three races in a row and basically running top five every race is really really setting the bar high. But obviously we're looking forward to it, and we're not going to back down. That's what our goal is, to try to win as many races as we can. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. And like you said, running off of your question there, to look at that all times win list is definitely a really really cool, and really one of the, everybody asks what's your biggest win or what's your biggest accomplishment, and really to be able to look at that, that's definitely one of the huge accomplishments that I can say that I have.
No, for sure. I mean, it's incredible, and just your first one came in. Do you know when your first one came?
In 1996. I don't remember the
19
date, but
1996, and you're
yep,
still winning races, almost, what, 20 years get later, which
28 now, right? Something like
28
that.
ye 28
Something
years later,
96. So yeah.
which is, incredible, incredible. So, you mentioned, like, the 3 wins in a row in the open modifieds. Like, what do you think clicked for you guys last year? Because, you always have speed when you go to Stafford, but, I mean, there were some races where, I mean, you were, like, embarrassing the field out there. So, like, what was what was clicking for you guys, and how did it all kinda come together? I'm sure confidence is always key, but again, I mean, you guys brought some fast race cars.
Yeah, so the year prior to that, when I was driving for Eddie Harvey on the Whelen Modified Tour there, with the one car, we had brought Cam McDermott on as a crew chief, and obviously Doug Dunleavy was a partial car owner, supplying the motors. We just started working really well together, me and Cam. Cam had his own setup and his own ideas that he wanted to run that he,
Mhm.
did as his with his own car. But he just didn't, he didn't race as much. He wanted to be more of a car chief, wanted to be a crew chief, car chief role. And I had worked with him in the past. I won the SK championship in 2013 at Stafford, and he was a crew member. He actually used to spot for me for a while. He was my
You've done it
spotter.
all.
Yeah, yep. So he was a spotter. And then he helped me when I drove for Buzz Shoe, and then he even helped me a little while when I drove for Adam Scavera. And then 2000, I would say 2015, 2016, right around there, we kind of, I guess we just went our separate ways. He kind of did his own thing, and I did my own thing, and then we just got back together. I think he just knows. I think it's huge because of the fact that he's a race car driver and
Mhm.
he's sits in the seat, so he has that feeling. So when I give him my feedback, he kind of probably 9 times out of 10, he knows exactly what I'm feeling or what I'm saying.
Mhm.
And then to have the confidence in the car owner like Doug Dunleavy, I mean, the guy is amazing. He gives us anything we need. I talk to him almost every day. Um, he's always at the track, always cheerful, happy, positive, no matter what happens. To have a guy like that, in your corner, and I think he knew. I think he saw with me and Cam what was going on there. The end of the year. I want to say that was what 2021.
Mhm.
So I think he felt like if he could keep the team together as a whole, and him as the car owner, I think he thought that we could definitely have be successful. So he got an opportunity to buy the team from Eddie Harvey and wanted to race at Stafford because he's always had a really good relationship with their roots and everything up there. And he sponsors the racetrack and has his own race, down there and stuff like that. I just think he knew, and all the stars aligned. That's the biggest thing I've always said. You need this racing game. You need every piece of the puzzle to fit. You got to have a great team. You got to have obviously great driver, great car owner, great crew chief. Everything's got to click. And if you have all those pieces to the puzzle that match, then you can do it like what we did, and you can succeed and be successful. And obviously the confidence helps. And you have a guy like Doug in your corner, pumping you up and giving you the confidence. And then, like I said, a guy like Cam, he's been unbelievable. He hit on something, and he's the what I love about him is even over the winter, he's not stopping. He's not like, all right, I got my base set up. This is what we're going to run. He's still working. We're going to Stafford in 2 weeks before the Sizzler to practice to test stuff. Because if you just sit there, the next guy is working on something to be better or to go by you. So that's what I love about Cam and his family. And yeah, it's just we have all those pieces right now that are what we need, and hopefully, we can keep doing that.
For sure. No, I mean it paid off last year, and I remember when I spoke to you early in the season, you felt confident. You did. I mean,
Mm.
it sounded in your voice when you were talking to me, and you guys had high expectations. And like I said, man, some of those races, I was like, being a Woody fan, right, and having you on the podcast, we
Yeah.
always like we'll put a couple dollars like together, right? We'll be like, all right, who you got? I'm like, I got Woody. Man, some of those races, man, were no sweat. I was like, I'm going home with a couple bucks here, but
Yeah.
anywho, so 1996, and today it's coming up on April 30th will be that 51st Spring Sizzler, which is crazy. But like, what still motivates you, and like, what's different from the motivation when you're a young kid at Stafford trying to get your first win to where you are now trying to get win what is it, 84? Win number 84? Win number 82. Like
82.
what is it still that keeps that drive for you?
Yeah, that's really a good question. Just because of the fact that you're doing it for so long, and back then it was working on the race cars, being in the shop 2-3 nights a week. That was just what you did
Mhm.
nonstop, keeping you out of trouble. And then now, obviously, growing up and priorities kind of change a little bit, and you look at things differently with having a family and kids growing up and stuff. And like I said, I don't have the time to go to the shop anymore like I once did, and I'm very fortunate enough to have the teams and the supporting cast that I do have that understands. And a lot of it's just the love of the speed, the love of just racing. It's
Yeah.
been in my blood since day one. I love the speed. I love just being out there. Kind of you're in control. You're kind of like almost in your own office. You can do things that that can really be a wow factor and wow the fans, and you can also do some dumb things that can make you look really bad. So just that, and it's just always been there. It's the passion, the love, the speed, and the people. I mean, the people that you meet, even this past year, I never even really knew until maybe last year at this time, the podcast stuff and hearing about the Black Flag podcast. It was a buddy of mine whose friend was on that podcast supporting, and then now get involved with them and meet all of them. And it's funny to see them because what they're doing and what they do at the racetrack afterwards and stuff is like what I used to do 15 years ago. And it's like I can't I can't keep up with that anymore, unfortunately. But it's just great to see what they're doing and what everybody's doing with the technology now and the advertisement and getting everything out on social media. um but just like they say, you come for the race cars and you stay for the people. And
Hmm.
that's definitely one thing that I definitely agree on, is just the it's like another family. It's a different
Yeah.
family. It's a whole different set of people down there. I still, and I see that when I go and I play hockey. It's just, it's cool. Like you play hockey and then you go a couple of days at work and then you're like, all right, you come to the weekend, and end of the weekend, Sunday night comes, and like, all right, great. You get to go see your other family that you haven't seen all week. So um, that's really, I guess it's really about it. It's just I don't ever really think about that whole, obviously you want to win races. I don't think about the all-time win list or nothing. I mean, I think it would be really cool to get to 100 if you could, or if I could. I feel like I'm young enough still that I could do that. But the biggest thing is just to go there and have fun and win races.
For sure. And I mean, you mentioned like, the social media stuff and like, your track, right? Stafford and Thompson for that matter, but
Yeah,
Seekonk, like those tracks, I mean, they do that social media stuff, right? They're engaged with the fans. The fans are loyal. So, I mean, that's credit to the families, right, that put on this racetrack and the young
right.
people they're hiring, but also the product. I mean, the product at the end of the day is what sells that stuff. And so you guys are always putting on a good show, which helps. So um let's talk spring sizzler though. I think it's about that time. What how are you guys feeling? I felt like you had a fast car at the 50th, just Hirschman had had a fast one too.
Yeah,
But like what it's a good field. I mean, it's a stacked field, so you got to
right.
be the best of the best and compete with the best of the best. So, what's it going to take, and how do you think you can build on the speed you guys had last year to take one home?
Yeah, unfortunately, we did end up breaking there towards the end of that race. But I just think what we had learned throughout the whole year, I mean, that was really fresh to us. It was still, we had, obviously worked the year before with each other on the Whelen Modified Tour, but all this was
Mhm.
new to us, really. So now what we've learned and what we have, running a full season at Stafford, all the notes that we have now and stuff that we learned throughout that year, to be able to bring that back to the Sizzler, even brings my confidence higher than what we had last year. So I'm really looking forward to it. I love the format. I love how they have it with the duel and everything. It's just a fun weekend. The Roots do a phenomenal job down there. You can see what they're doing, how much money they're sinking in that place. I mean, it's one of the most beautiful tracks and best facility. Not just in New England, but in the whole country.
Agreed.
What they're doing is amazing. And they're in a good spot, obviously, with the kids coming up. Obviously, they're racing and stuff, but it should be, in good hands for a long time. So,
And
yeah,
are they doing the SRX thing? Are they still doing that? If you win, you get the
yeah.
ticket in?
Oh no, they're not doing that anymore. I guess the SRX now is kind of, looks like to me, they're going in a different direction. And almost to me, it's looking like it's turning into like an IROC or ARCA series, where they're getting all the
Sure.
Cup drivers in there now. They've moved it to Thursday nights now, which gives more Cup drivers and stuff like that more opportunity to do it. But yeah, I actually called and reached out to Donald Hawk, who's running it, and said I would love to have an opportunity if there was one there. And of course, obviously, he said there was 12 or 13 people that have either won a a NASCAR Cup race or an Indy race that was on the list that wasn't even going to be able to race. And I know a couple of the guys around, a couple of the guys from New England Northeast. Doug Kobe had called again, which I feel like, yeah, you already had your opportunity, so you don't get
Yeah, yeah.
another shot, and Ryan Priest wanted to do it, which I mean he's a Cup driver now, so he should be able to. But I don't know. I mean would have been really cool to be able to do, because I feel like I would do pretty well. I have a lot of late model experience down there and full fender experience, and still run full fender from time to time. So I think I would definitely have a little bit of advantage there, and I think it would be a lot of fun. But unfortunately, it won't be this year.
That's tough. That's tough. Maybe, hey, I'll give a tweet to Donald Hawk there and tell him, hey, we need Woody Pitkat in that field. But no, okay, that's interesting, because I thought that was a pretty cool thing that they did. And I know, I mean, first year, like it was, it really was funny, because I was at that first race and I got tickets to the one coming up. But like Doug Kobe, they gave him like a car, and one guy like got fresh tires put on, and Doug Kobe was still like lapping this guy, and I'm just like, man, that's what, when you have experience at a track like this, it goes a long way. So that's kind of why I asked. I was like, man, it would be cool to see another local guy in that field. Um,
Right.
but who knows? Hey, maybe they'll give that opportunity next year or something, and we'll see. But anywho, so um, I was gonna ask you, as we look like the money that's involved, right, this
Mm.
year and even last year, and the name, right, the Spring Sizzler has always been like a big name and a huge historic race. But as you
Yep.
look kind of back at it, and how has it evolved, and how, like, maybe it hasn't evolved, or like has it evolved for the good, evolved for the worse? But I mean, I look at it, and I mean, to go home with what is it, 15 grand? Like that's pretty crazy. So how has this race evolved in your time kind of running it,
Yeah, it's up. I think it's upwards to $20,000 now, I
Look at
believe.
that.
And there's lap money involved as well. And then you could, if you won the your duel on Saturday, I believe it's $3,500 to win. But yeah, I mean, growing up, looking at it, not to say old timers, but the older generation looks at it as, okay, it's always a NASCAR touring race,
Hmm.
a Whelen modified tour race. So you're always looking at that, and you're looking at the greats, that won throughout the years. And now to see that it's not NASCAR sanctioned, but to see what the Roots have done on their own, not being NASCAR officiated, I feel like they've even raised the bar even higher.
Yeah.
Just with the way that it is, they still have the milk, which is great. So it keeps it kind of the same as it always has been since day one. They went out and got Sizzler winners from past to talk, and the way that they just did it, like they're definitely keeping it as close to past history as they can. But I feel like they definitely raised the bar. And definitely last year they made it. Everybody, it was all new to everybody, so we weren't really sure what to expect. But
Hmm.
I thought it was amazing the way that that it went. And I mean, just look at the cars. Look at the car count. I mean, it was over, I don't know, 45, 50 cars
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
I think up as of 2 weeks ago there was 42 entries, and I'm sure it's still going to grow. Um, but yeah, I mean, it would be really hard to do. But if somebody won their duel and let started up front and let every lap of the Sizzler race on Sunday, and won the race, you could walk out of there with close to $35,000. That's just unreal to even think about in this day and
Yeah.
age. So I know, I broke last year. I think I finished, I don't know, 18th or 19th, and I still won the most money. I was like, fourth. It would have looked like I finished fourth or fifth, the amount of money that I brought home between finishing second in the duel and then leading, all those laps early on. So it's just really, really cool to see what they're doing. And obviously we want to support that any way that we can and every way that we can, and want to be at our best. We're definitely going to want to be 130% prepared and ready to go for that one.
Do you think like when that, there's that much money involved, and when you say that, like you could walk home with 35 grand, you start on the pole when you're dual, and then you lead every lap. Like, do you think sometimes that might I don't know, get drivers to drive a certain type of way that they normally wouldn't? Or do you think, because to me, honestly, I feel like the level of respect in what you guys do in the wheel and modified tour, I actually think there's quite a lot of respect
Hmm.
in that series, because I feel like guys know that, they got to work hard and they're doing it the right way.
Right.
Um, Kind of like that grit and grind almost kind of feeling. But in terms of like, them adding all this money, do you kind of fear that the quality of racing might change a little bit? Because, that's a lot of money to walk home with.
Yeah, I did. I did kind of worried that last year because there's all kinds of different ways you can go about it as a driver. You can try to charge, and obviously, I want to say you need to finish in the top 10 or the top 12 in your duel, um, to even make it into the race on
Mhm.
Sunday. So, depending on how you do, I don't even remember last year. I think there was a heat. I think we ran a heat to line us up for the duel,
Yeah, I think
which
so.
I started dead last in my heat race, and and I don't know. My mentality was just to try to get as high up. I remember Cam worrying about, are we going to be able to pass to get us in a good spot in the duel? And even the duel, I mean, it's 40 laps, so you got plenty of time. But my mentality is always, to try to be in that top 6 or top 8, so you're kind of up there with all the good cars, and you kind of can set your own pace and do
Mhm.
what you want. So I drove, from last to, I want to say I finished second, maybe in the heat, second or third, and I came in and Cam's like, "Oh, I guess that was easy." And then I think I started fourth in the dual race and ran second. Finished second to Ryan Priest, which he was really good that day. And Silky won the other duel. And then,
Mhm.
again, that's put us in the top 6 or top 4 to start in a race. And that's really where you want to be. But you could also, if for some reason you struggle in the heat race and, puts yourself back a little bit further in that duel, then you got to put your mindset that, you know, with that too. And then I honestly, I forgot all about how the tire strategy was and what we had for tires, and how many we could get and stuff like that. So I'm gonna have to, refresh my memory on all that when we get down there. But um, yeah, I didn't really see it too much. Where it looked like anybody was like really driving or putting any extra pressure on themselves or taking any
Mhm.
chances. With the money on the line. I know fall final seemed like a little bit different scenario there at the end, which even sometimes on the tour you see that, once everybody puts tires on and comes out of the pits, everybody's out for blood for those first 5 or 6 laps. So
Right.
you kind of got to hold your breath and get through those 5 or 6 laps until it settles down, and then you can kind of get in your own, you know, in your own head and just start getting back into a rhythm and try to do your own thing. But no, I don't think so. I mean, maybe it will be. I feel like definitely you see it down there with the SK modifieds, this, newer generation, younger generation of people that are coming up into it, seem to be a little bit antsy, and
Mhm.
from time to time they get themselves in trouble and get wrecked or whatever. But I mean, that's just par for the course. It's young kids that are growing up that just don't have the seat time and don't have the laps. As some of the veterans do, in which it just takes time. But the more that they do it, and the more that they learn from their mistakes, they're going to be right there with us. So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I don't think that'll be. I don't know. I'm not putting any extra pressure on myself. Obviously, you know, definitely now that the SRX thing is out of it, you might
That's
put
true.
yourself a little bit of pressure on yourself because of that too. Obviously, the money, is nice, and that's a big bonus for anybody's team. That's first race of the year to be able to have that to use for a full season would be awesome. But I just go down there and look at it as like it's just another race to try to win.
No, I hear you, and I feel the same way, honestly. Like I said, I felt like last year there was a level of respect out there. I didn't see anybody kind of forcing it.
Mm.
And again, I mean, I feel like that's just the product of race and modifieds, to be honest. You watch some of those cup races on Sunday, you're like, geez, yikes.
Yeah, I know. I don't
Um,
know what it's turning into WWE out there.
it really is. It really is. But all right, I got a couple more questions for you. So I do want to know, past the scissor, like team goals this year. What are you guys looking to accomplish? Did I see you guys are running some mod tours races this year?
So yeah, I'm running for Stan Mertz, the guy that I had ran for in the past. I actually ran open races for him, ran some SK races for him at Thompson and stuff. Obviously last year with me teaming up with Dunleavy, he went in a different direction and got a different
Hmm.
driver, and then he's getting to the point where he's going to step out of it after this year. And his bucket list was always to be a Whelen modified tour car, so he had reached back out to me to kind of finish that goal that he wanted to do. So we're going to run partial tour, about 8 races on the tour with him, and he's
Nice.
been doing an outstanding job, updating his car and doing whatever he needs to give me the best piece possible. So I'm really excited for that, to see what we can do with that little team. And I think we're
When's
gonna
the
definitely
first one for you guys?
the next one in Monadnock,
Okay. All right.
May 6th or whatever it is. Yep, that'll be
Sweet.
our first one. So
Sweet.
yep. So I'm doing about 8 races with those with Stan. And obviously, our goal is to try to do the best that we can. I mean,
Hmm.
I feel like if you can finish top 5 on the tour and be in tech, that's, to me, that's a win with
Yeah.
the caliber of drivers that you're racing against on that series. And then all the open races again at Stafford with the 88, and then we're going to try to trace the tri-track championship this year.
Nice.
So yeah, we missed a couple of races last year, but we're going to try to do the best we can on there. I really like the win on a tri-track. It's been, I want to say, since 2015, I think, since I
Hmm.
won on the tri-track. And it's always nice to win somewhere different than, oh, you can only win at Thompson or you can only win at Stafford because it's your home track. And obviously I've proven that in the past, but it's nice to win at different tracks that you
Hmm.
that you don't go to from time, all the time. So that's definitely would be a goal. And if we can try to cap it off with winning the tri track championship, that'd be great. But obviously want to do the best that I can for Stan on the tour and bring the car home in one piece, every race, and get the best finishes that we can. And possibly if we can squeak out a top 3 or even a win somewhere, that would be pretty amazing. So we'll see how it goes.
I love it. Let's go. Busy schedule for you this year. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yep. It's pretty. It doesn't look that busy, but it's definitely, when you start talking about it, it's busy.
No, that's good. That's good. We'll be rooting for you on all those series. Yeah, the tri track is always good stuff as well. Not that the mod tour isn't, but it's tough to
Yeah,
watch those mod tour races. Flow racing, man, that's an expensive subscription. I don't know if you've looked into that, but
yeah. I got flow. I love it.
it's great. It's great, but
Yeah,
my goodness, it's it's quite the subscription price.
right.
The other thing I wanted to ask you, and my guess, I feel like I know your answer, but there is this guy at Stafford that like sits front row. He is like your biggest fan. Do you know that guy?
Yeah, that's that guy.
That's that guy.
Yeah, Mr. Modified, Dave Simbala. I know him.
Okay,
He's
that is
not. I
him.
mean, he is a 100% Woody Pitkat fan. That's true, but he's a diehard Modified fan too. He's not just a Woody fan. He's Doug Colby fan. Justin. He likes everybody. I don't think there's anybody I know that he don't like, honestly. But yeah, he's a handful from time to time. It's funny when he's up there yelling and screaming.
Going like
I,
this, like
oh yeah, I love it. I love it. You win one, then you win 2 in a row, and he's down there. And you're trying not to put any extra pressure on you, and he's like, "Oh, can you imagine what happens? You could win 3 in a row. That's history. This is history in the making that you could really do. You got to think that." And I'm like, "Oh, kind of like when I won 5 races in a row in 2007." He's like, "You did that?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, when I ran SKs in 2007, I'm like, "Yeah." I said, okay. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm not trying to put any extra pressure on me, but I got this guy in my ear telling me like how amazing it could be if you could do this. So no, he's a great guy, and it's awesome to see people like that. Not everybody's like that. Usually the younger kids are like that, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Mr. Modified. We call him.
Mr.
He's a
Modified.
yeah. He loves it. He loves all modified racing, and to see him up there, that definitely gets you going. If you're having a bad day, or if you had a bad phone call before you're getting ready to go out for the race,
And
or
he's giving you this guy.
yeah, you see that guy, you everything is wiped clean when you see him up there. So
I love that. I
yeah,
love
yeah,
that.
yeah, me too.
No, that's good. That's what I figured, but man, I always see him there and he's always rocking your shirt and I always get to chat quickly with him and he seems like a great guy, but I was
Yeah.
like, I hope Woody knows how loyal of a guy and fan this guy is, just pumping him up. And
Oh
that's good
yeah.
that you recognize it too, because hey, I'd feel the same way. If I had a fan like that pumping me up, like I feel like it goes a long way. So, all right,
Yeah,
that's good.
absolutely.
I've been meaning to ask you that for a
No,
while.
that's good. Yeah, I
Um,
just sent him a Woody hoodie last week, so he'll be ready to go at the Sizzler.
Good, good. I'll make sure, I'll let him know I chatted with you and we got big things coming this year. So, um,
Awesome.
all right, 2 more quick things. Let's just go, quickly with this question. Do you think at this point, if you were to hang it all up, let's say tomorrow, have you
Mhm.
kinda accomplished everything that as a kid you set out to accomplish? Or, are you I don't know, are you still hungry for more? Or could you kind of at this point, if you gave it up, you could say, "Hey, looking back, I'm proud on, everything I did," or is there more that you kinda wish you could have done?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely happy with what I've accomplished. I always felt like, I back when I was running more, tour stuff before I had kids and stuff, I always was like, wanted to win a whale modified tour championship. That was kind of my last thing that I wanted to do. I had, won late model races and championships, SK modified, races and championships, and won MRS races and championships on the MRS. So I would say obviously tri track would be the next thing, and then if I one day would have another opportunity to run and be successful on the whale modified tour, that would be definitely something that I would like to be able to have as that one goal. But if I never get it, no, that's fine. Like I said, to even have the opportunity that I did have, all those years, running on the tour, running 15th, 16th, 17th, thinking to myself, could I even run for the lead? And then to start, have an opportunity, a great opportunity with Buzz Shoe and Spot and all those guys, and to run up front like that. And I remember first race finishing second and being to myself like, whoa, like, all right, that guy finished 17th. Like, I don't even remember seeing him, in the race, because it's like it's two different races,
Yeah.
to run in the back or the front. And then to be able to win at Loudon. So always struggled at Loudon. I remember going to Loudon, as a kid racing late models, watching, being like, oh, it'd be wild to be out there, and then to be out there and not only race on that track but win races there as well. No, I'm definitely happy. If for some reason I had to hang it up, I'm 100 tickled to death on what I've accomplished.
No, that's good, and it's funny. Some people like say that, and they're like, yeah, yeah, I'd be fine with it, but
Mm,
are they really internally? But hearing you, I do believe you. You know what I mean? And
yeah. Hmm.
so no, that's awesome, and yeah, man, I wanna see you win a couple more on that wheel and modified tour, a couple more.
Yeah.
So
No, no, definitely.
with the schedule you got this year, are you going back to Loudon on the tour?
Yeah, we're going there in
Okay,
July. Yep, we're
good.
going to North Wilkesboro, Thompson in August. We're going to all the tracks really that I won at or really run good. I mean, North Wilkesboro I've never been to, obviously, but Thompson I've won at. Monadnock I've been yeah, I won a late model race there. I've been close. I feel like Monadnock owes me. I've got a couple seconds up there. Claremont we run good at. Seaconk we run good at. I've won there. Not a big mod race there, but I've won there in a
Mhm.
Pro 4. But yeah, no, I I mean, look at the schedule. And those races being not non pits, some of those races non pit stop. If you hit the setup, we could be right there. So, um, like I said earlier, I'm definitely excited for that challenge with Stan and
We're
those guys.
We're rooting for you, and Mr. Modify is rooting for you as well. That's for sure. Um,
Absolutely.
all right, last question has nothing to do with racing, but we got to end on something fun. Get the mind going. So
Hmm.
let's do top five what do you got for your top 5 movies of all time?
Top 5 movies, I'd have to
Yeah.
say Goonies is definitely up there in the top
Okay.
5.
All right.
Uh, Rad. I don't know if you've
Okay.
heard of that.
Never.
The BMX bike movie Rad. It's awesome.
Okay.
I'd have to say Top Gun's in there. The first Top
Yeah,
Gun.
of course. Of course.
um, Probably Days of Thunder.
Nice.
What's that? That's 4.
4, yeah.
And then I
What
don't
about
know.
Cars?
Cars is right there. Yeah. I've watched that too many times to have that as a favorite anymore. I'm just trying to think of past like what used to watch back in the day, but I mean, yeah, I guess you could put that up in there.
All right.
I'm trying to think of what else I used to always like to watch, but I would say Goonies is probably my number one. Goonies and Rad. And it's funny because some people never even heard of those movies.
Oh, come on. People haven't heard of the
Yeah,
Goonies?
I know. I don't know how you don't hear the Truffle Shuffle.
That's crazy. The other one, no, I mean, the other one I've not heard of, but
Yeah.
yeah. I see, I was thinking about it, and I would go Goodfellas. I think you have to throw in there for me, at
Hmm.
least, I don't know, but,
Yeah.
one Star Wars movie for me, so
I
whether
was
it
gonna
be
say Star Wars. Yeah.
yeah, whether
I
it's
never.
Empire Strikes Back or I like Revenge of the Sith, so one of those,
Hmm.
um, I would throw The Shining. I don't know if you like horror movies, but I think, like, Shining is just, like, a great movie in general.
Yep.
I would say Temple of Doom, maybe? I don't know.
I
That's a
used to
classic.
I used to watch all those. What was it? Not Friday the 13th. The other one, Nightmare on Elm Street, or
Oh,
the
yeah.
Freddy Krueger ones.
Yeah. Yep.
Those with the glove, with the, yeah, the hand or whatever, with the
Yeah.
razors, or
And I
but
mean,
I don't
at
know.
this point, they're just remaking all that stuff.
Yeah,
If you haven't
exactly.
seen it, you'll see a remake soon.
Yeah, right. Yep.
But yeah, all right, that's good. That's good. That and honestly, that was quick. I feel like some people be like, "Ah, I can't name 5." No, I can name like 1 or 3, but that was good. You came up with 5 pretty quick. I'm
Yeah,
impressed there. Uh,
cool.
but yeah, we always like to do something fun at the end, so I'm glad we got the mind working on a Monday night here. I'm sure you needed that.
Yeah, definitely. No, that was good.
All right, well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Like I said, we're rooting for you. Cannot wait till April 30th. Cross my fingers that the weather is warm, first of all, and
I
just,
know.
you know, I won't even say the R word, but we're not going to say it. So,
Right. Race.
yeah, race, exactly. Race.
Yep.
Um,
Bring on the race.
Bring on the race. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. For everybody out there, this has been Johnny on the track. Definitely subscribe for more content. Like this video and comment what you think of Woody this season. Where you think he's going to finish? Let's see that in the comments. But like I said, appreciate you coming on, and we're rooting for you. We'll see you April 30th.
All right, awesome. Thank you for having me, and we'll see you here shortly.